Hi, I'm Caroline from Elevate Your Wellness, and this is a Timesaver Tip. So I know a lot of my clients say, I want to eat healthy, I know I should eat whole foods, I know I should be cooking at home, but I just don't have time. So this is one of my Timesaver tips. This is how I make it all work in my house. I roast a bunch of winter squash and sweet potatoes whenever I'm home and have time, and I do it all at once, not knowing exactly what I'm going to do with things. So sweet potatoes are an easy one. We eat sweet potatoes like crazy in our house. So scrub the outside, give them a few fork pokes, and put them back on your cookie sheet. And then what I've got here is just a cookie sheet, and I have parchment paper over it. So if you don't know parchment paper, it is fantastic for roasting veggies, for baking cookies. Pretty much anytime a recipe says grease the pan, it's great to use parchment paper instead. Mainly for cleanup. No scrubbing pots and pans, you just roll up the paper and toss it away. You can use it again too. If you bake cookies or something like that, you can use it a few times. So I'll typically do 2 or 3 sweet potatoes, and then I love to do spaghetti squash. So if you don't know spaghetti squash, this beauty, once you roast it, it comes out in strands. You can sub it for pasta with marinara sauce, or just eat it with some coconut butter and salt and pepper. Again, give it a few fork pokes just so it doesn't explode. I have had things explode, it happens. And then lastly, a beautiful butternut squash. So these especially are just nearly impossible to peel, so roasting them first makes it much, much easier. So again, a few fork pokes in this, add it to my tray. Other things I might do, beets, I don't peel them, I just do them whole. You could certainly do regular potatoes, delicata squash, any other kind of winter squash like this. From here, they go into the oven for about, I usually set the timer for about 30 minutes and then just check in and see how everything's doing. The spaghetti squash usually doesn't take much longer than 30 minutes. Sweet potatoes, usually around 40, and the butternut might take a little longer. So I just take things out as it's done. The great thing is it's forgiving, so if something gets left in there a little too long, it's usually not a big deal. And then I just take everything out. I usually don't even peel it. I just put it in containers, pop it in the fridge, and then next time I'm coming home for lunch or getting dinner ready for us, I at least have some squash that's all roasted. I can maybe make a soup. I can do a quick pasta dish with the spaghetti squash, or we can just heat up the sweet potato and have like a mashed sweet potato. So that is one of my time-saving tips. Second option for the winter squash is to do them in a crock pot. So if you have a crock pot, you can, same thing, rinse them really well, give them a few pokes with a fork, put them in the crock pot without any liquid. No lining, no liquid, you're just putting the squash right in the crock pot. And if you have 4 or 5 hours for them to cook, then put them on high. If you have all night or all day, put them on low. They won't get quite the same roasted taste that they do in the oven, obviously, but it works pretty darn well. So if you work outside the home, then using the crock pot to cook your winter squash is a great option as well. Hope that time-saving tips helps you, and check out my website for more recipes and other great ideas.